That's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, the following podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, he is the man of mischief, the master of shenanigans, the horrific haunts. Shifty Gizm, next he hails from Italy. Eurasia, Europa, Sir Ronald Rome, Arminius, Romericus, Romulo, Augustus, Rome's. Finally, from the Bluegrass State, he is Kentuckiana's finest, the sorcerer supreme, the StreamYard, the Ostinator. And this is your full throttling, 5-star sword swinging, table breaking, lads lifting, gimmick giving, good old wrestling. Backseat, autonomous, freedom duffing, liberty loving, globe adventuring, podcast federation. No, and it started right, god dang, now.
I'm getting better at the timing of this.
Oh my god, I actually like that intro.
Thank you, Deshaun. I appreciate it.
You welcome.
Trust me, you should hear the full unedited version of it where it goes into Al Gore. The best part of the song might be the most underrated part of the song.
Yeah, it goes off into a whole completely different thing for like 4 minutes. It's nuts.
It is very, very nuts. Almost like peanuts.
Yeah, we may have to try to switch it up. I like that one a lot, and you'll have to say, but we need to switch it up. Maybe try a different genre and maybe add something for Deshaun, a special guest or another co-host here, and we'll get him in a song and see what we can pull out.
Indeed, we definitely should do that. Anyway, everybody, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Good Ol Wrasslin, episode 9. The fact that this show lasted more than one episode, I'm actually very surprised. Is
it Good Ol Wrasslin right now? Because it seems like big old boring wrestling right now.
Yeah, it's not looking great, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Or super overpriced wrestling.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that and more in this week's installment. I know we said we were going to do a gaming, the game thing this week. But
yeah, I've done forgot about that.
I also forgot about it, in whole honesty. There is a lot of stuff this week compared to last week, so you know what? That's going to be on the back burner for now.
First thing, top of the show, while everybody's listening, Target Circle, if you're a member, you got 1 day. Get your butts out to Target. If you want some wrestling figures, you can get them for cheap. They have 40% off the latest wave of WWE Legends figures and the Elite Dusty. You can get them for super cheap because if you spend $30, you get $5 off. You spend $50, you get $10 off. And you can basically get them for half price. So you got 1 day left.
Go. Shoot, what are you guys doing?
The latest wave has Psycho Sid, WrestleMania 9 Bret Hart, Justin Hawk Bradshaw. You got the WCW Rick Rude, who has a Chase figure out there if you can find him. He doesn't have his anchor tattoo, unfortunately. And if you can still find him, there's a really awesome polka dot Dusty Rhodes figure, the Elite, and he's usually 33. You could get him for like $19. Great deals out at Target right now.
Hell yeah! What the fuck? What is everyone doing right now? If you guys are watching this and you guys want wrestling figures, dude, go to Target right now. I'm serious. Go now. You don't go now, you're gonna regret it. This is you guys' chance. I'm giving you guys 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than WrestleMania tickets.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that and more, everybody, because my God, WrestleMania is a mess. Not only from a financial standpoint, but from a absolute writing and main event standpoint. And you know what? We're going to start off strong here because I know usually we like to build up to the main topic, but you know what? This week we're going to make this the opener because why not? Is the WrestleMania build weak? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny it. This build is not great. And I don't want to blame the talent involved because it's not really their fault. I think a lot of it is just the writing wise. This is just all over the place, and it feels like I think somebody on Twitter said it best. This build feels like there really wasn't a long-term plan here, and if there was, everything kind of got blown up to where the plans really make no sense. I wouldn't say they don't make any sense, but just almost messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good up until it's great. After like the night of Elimination Chamber, we didn't know what was going on, and then we was all hyped for the Cena turn, and then I think part of the problem is they're leading the shows here the last couple of weeks with the Cena and Cody segments, and that's taken up a half hour, and it's in the middle of the day, and I'm like, I really don't want to watch anything more after sitting through that mess. And I actually fell asleep this past week on their segment, so I was like, I'm not invested in anything else because they're killing my attention span. So.
And and the problem is with the Cena promo, this week is it almost felt like the exact same promo we got last week.
Yeah.
And it ended in the same result. Cena walked out. Cody's like, oh, you're not the man, I'm the man. And like, you're walking up the ramp like a cat. Basically, I'm saying verbatim. But the point is, it's the same exact result to a promo we already got. Now, I feel like a lot of it must probably being done because they want to protect Cody Rhodes from getting, the cross, getting the split reaction because they probably want Cody to get the max babyface reaction. But at the same time, I granted we got a little bit more from Cena this week, but it felt like there's something missing here. I don't know what. But again, with promos like this, it makes you wonder how long the Cena heel phase is going to last because you're not really. It almost feels like not so much that they're half-assing it, but it feels like almost they're not going completely all in. Now, I don't know if that's because Cena himself, because he's leaving, so there's really no point in doing like a lot of this new stuff, or it's just, to me, I hope next week we get a little bit more and hopefully we get an actual promo between Cena and Cody because apparently Cena's not really going to be on any of the weekly TV leading up to WrestleMania after next week. So
that's what we were hoping last week. We were like, I hope something else happens, and it didn't.
The only thing more we got this week was Cena wants to ruin wrestling.
Really is. Hey, that's happening. Good job there, man.
He said, and really, I want to believe that he became a bad guy because we all made fun of his little spinner belt, and now he's just a bad guy. He's like, wow, my toy. Now, granted, if he does win the belt at WrestleMania, he doesn't bring a variation of the spinner back out of spite, then I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't even at this point. I mean, I would have. I wanted him to win after he turned heel, and I wanted a new Cena, and I wanted him to be bad, and I wanted him to be a cool bad guy. That he said that's what the fans wanted, so he's not doing it. But I mean, now I'm thinking I don't think he's going to win now. I think Cody's going to retain. I just don't. I don't think this is going anywhere. It's dead in the water.
What do you think, Deshaun, about all this?
About the Wrestlemania bill.
I mean, well, we're talking about Cena, like the Cena stuff right now.
Um, I'll go be honest. I mean, I am hyped for this Cena here one. I think he's doing a pretty good job right now. The only thing I worry about is him might not winning because you look at the story. Yes, Cody should win the match. I mean, it makes sense. But to be honest, John Cena should win that match. I really hope John Cena win the WrestleMania. And I know if he do win, he's not gonna show up all the time. That we all know that. But just get to see heel John Cena with the WWE champion is something that we might never see. So I think they should put a trigger on that.
And here's the problem with Cena not showing up. We're back to the same problem of last year, where Roman wasn't involved a whole lot into this build. So what is Cody going to be doing for the next 2 weeks when Cena's not there? Like, is The Rock going to somehow get himself involved in this? Is there going to be, like, Cody's going to do something? Like, because if the next 2 weeks is just Cody going out to the ring, cutting a promo, what the fuck are we doing here?
If Austin was involved in this match, they really need to pull the trigger next week and have him out there or just mention his name to get people excited, because I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's right now just the basic match is a snoozer. I don't know. There's got to be something more to it. And it's got to lead to something. And like you said, if Cena's not there the next 2 weeks after, next week or whatever, you just can't have Cody come out there and cut one of his lone solo promos in the ring. You got to have some interaction. You got to have some excitement, and it's dull right now.
And that's the problem. And speaking of the announcement, that was made earlier today, during SmackDown, Punk, Roman, and Seth are main eventing WrestleMania Night 1. And
how did that?
At this point, I don't know. I would like to believe that Roman just politicked his way into this, because let's face it, Roman was not working the opening match, and he was definitely not working the mid-card. So it's like, okay, well, I guess you got a main event.
You just screwed over your world champion. You screwed over the Royal Rumble winner and your cousin. You screwed over, you screwed over 5 women who should be having a shot at the main event. Way to go. I guess, hey, hooray for Punk for getting the main event spot, but it's a freaking triple threat for, no stakes at all. Who cares?
Well, this is where I think this could be leading, because Punk said himself that him main eventing WrestleMania was not the favor, which makes me wonder what this favor is going to entail, at least before WrestleMania. Is this because I personally, and this is my working theory, so hear me out on this one, is they're having this main event, and obviously they really aren't. If they're not going to have anything to this main event, then they're going to end up. Then this shouldn't really main event. Grant, I understand, okay, Roman, Punk, Seth, that's a big match all on its own, but you can't just have that main event WrestleMania besides your world title or, your women's championships. So the only logic I could think of here is Punk is going to use his favor to where, okay, whoever wins the triple threat match at Night 1 is going to interject himself into Night 2. And the only reason why I could see this happening is because I think they want to protect Cody if he's going to lose. So then whoever wins Night 1 is going to be pinned on Night 2 by Cena. Because I think Punk's going to win night 1 and Seth's going to screw him over night 2 because for whatever reason, I think that Seth could be the third man because of his inner spite with Punk and Roman, and that's going to lead into a thing, and it's going to be a clusterfuck because I think we probably could all guess that night 2 is going to be a clusterfuck in terms of the main event.
I mean, they could do that or a special referee thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of it sucks that they would do that though. I mean, because they didn't win the Royal Rumble. Why are they getting a title shot at WrestleMania now? If they did that, I wouldn't like that at all. Even if it does, add more excitement, I don't like the logistics behind it.
And look, I understand wholeheartedly why it's going to main event because realistically, Punk and Seth were going to main event last year, more than likely. I get it. They probably want to give Punk his main event because I'm pretty sure Punk signed on. One of the big things he wanted before he came back was the main event WrestleMania, either night, and you're giving Punk the WrestleMania main event, okay, fine. And I understand, okay, Roman's going to break the main event record, technically, because this will be his 10th main event. That's all fine and good. The problem is this whole build, and I think what really attributes this to the weak build, it's not even so much that main eventing, it's the fact that you're kind of screwing over everybody else, like you said, because let's face it, I understand, okay, Jey Uso versus Gunther may not sound like a WrestleMania main event worthy match, and I get it, but you're kind of leaving. I feel like this also comes down to I think that IWC maybe influenced this decision too, because we saw the reactions when Jey won the Rumble. We saw everybody complain about, oh, Jey shouldn't have won, oh, this and that. Even though realistically, again, I'm going to continue to say it, it was still the right move because you got the guy who's one of your top merchandise sellers. He's getting great reactions from the crowds every week. You'd be stupid not to. And closing out WrestleMania Night 1 with him potentially winning the World Heavyweight Championship would have been a great moment to send people home. But the problem is that IWC just can't get out of their own way. So they bitched and complained, and guess what? Now he's going to open the show, and now his moment probably won't mean as much. Not saying it still won't mean a lot, because it will. But let's call it for what it is.
Will it even happen now?
And that's it. Because if they main evented, it was almost a guarantee he was going to win, but now he's opening the show. Now we don't know if it's, maybe now we're going to reconsider, even though, granted, again, you're stupid if you don't put the belt on him, because what was the point of him winning the Rumble then?
So I know Jimmy came back. So how are their relationship right now? Because he could turn on him again and cost him the title, and they could go off and try to feud again.
I mean, because they're like, I guess they're good again, but I don't think they're going to have him do it again, because after the match last year, it was that being a disaster. I don't think they're going to want to risk putting doing that again. But I just feel like, to me, this was kind of stupid on everybody's part. Like, if they do open WrestleMania, which presumably that's what they're going to do, then you fucked up already right there.
Yeah.
Now, you then had Tiffany and Charlotte there, and I understand the build's not very good, and granted, it's not great, but you have Charlotte's the Rumble winner, you have Tiffany Stratton. You couldn't have afforded to at least, like, if you weren't going to at least have that main event, why aren't you going to have the women's world title that Io has main event night 1? Because I mean, presumably it's going to be a triple threat match. At least that's what it's building up to. I don't know if Vince Russo's going to come and do, no, it's a swerve, bro, and Io's going to drop the belt on Monday, which I don't think that's going to happen. At least the idea would be, okay, Io, Rhea, Bianca is going to be a triple threat match. That's going to be a big match all on itself. You got two of the biggest women's stars. I mean, and then you got Io Sky, who's great in her own right. Why not have them main event WrestleMania? Now, And again, with the bill that they have going on right now, it would seem like Io would retain. So if you have Io retain the title on the biggest stage in the main event against two of your top stars, you then made Io Sky a bigger star than what she is right now.
Yeah.
But again, and as much as I don't want to harp on this, because again, I like CM Punk, I like Roman Reigns, I like Seth Rollins, but unfortunately, this feels like you writ yourselves into a corner because of you overcomplicated it. So now we got to resolve this by doing a triple threat haphazardly because there's no other way to. I don't want because I don't want this to come off as just me being like, oh well, you just don't want this, that, and the other. No, that's not what I'm saying. There were so many better avenues you could have went in that this just feels like a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, as much as I like Damian Priest, but the fact, as much as we've seen Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre before, it's like, okay, like, sure. But, and I guess there is some story there, but why couldn't Roman face Drew at WrestleMania and Seth and Punk could have done, wrestled one-on-one? Like, to me, there were so many better avenues they could have went in it, and it's just like they're going out of the way to not do so. Like, I don't want to say they're self-sabotaging themselves. I think it's just they're overcomplicating this shit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes keep it simple, stupid is better than overcomplicating it and making it a complete clusterfuck.
I mean, it's a clusterfuck from top to bottom, from the booking to the pricing to everything, to the fan engagement, extra, things that they have going on throughout the weekend. It's a total clusterfuck. Everything is. It's absurd, the things that we're seeing on Twitter today.
Yeah, it's and I'm if all the AEW fanboys want to go, oh well, all you do is harp on AEW. Well, guess what? I'm harping on WWE right now.
Yeah, a lot of things coming out of the woodwork of how bad things are for this WrestleMania, and it's. I mean, we could already see it with the shows, but man, you'll get into it here in a second, but man.
And can I also state this too? I understand you want to try and get as many people out in WrestleMania as you can, but why is this show looking like there's gonna be a shit ton of multi-man matches? Like, is it just me? Because
the roster's too big. The roster's too big.
And that's the problem. Because you already have the triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Seth. You're gonna have the women's triple threat. Okay, fine. But then there's gonna be a multi-man tag match, more than likely. They're probably gonna do a multi-man match for the IC title. God knows what they're gonna do with the US title. It's a mess. This whole show is a mess. Now, it's not to the point where, oh my God, I'm not going to watch WrestleMania, because I'm going to watch WrestleMania for the show, and there'll probably be something I'll like. But, my God, we got like what? We got 3 weeks left until WrestleMania?
That first year that me and you did a WrestleMania recap, I think going into the show, we weren't very hyped for it. But, when we did the recap, we were like, yeah, that was pretty good, actually. So who knows? They may surprise us. But right now, I don't know.
Yeah, Deshaun, do you have anything you wanna chime in on this?
Yeah, sure. I'm fine with CM Punk, Roman, still being the main event if they have something on the line, like a number one contender. But just a regular triple threat match closing WrestleMania. That, to me, that sound it don't sound right. At least like last year when WrestleMania night, when last year WrestleMania Night 1 main event with Cell, Cody, Walk, and Roman. Yes, it was a tag team match, but it also had stakes to the next night.
Yeah.
Like two. If not Cody, if Wayne and Cell and Punk main event night 1, just a regular triple threat match, like it just to me it just don't feel right. And I agree. I do think Roman, Seth, and Punk, they're one of the three big guys in WWE right now. Like if you put them together in a match in a triple threat match, yes, that should be a main event. But only way it could be the main event if it has something in stake, not just a random triple threat match. Gone to put the J, I'm gonna be honest, even though I want Jay to win, but to be honest, that bill kind of suck. The only bill that I
Yeah.
really say is good is a guy Bianca, but
Yeah.
it's a really match. Even though we all know that gonna be a triple threat match also, and it's just that this resume bill, I feel like you know what. I'm gonna say that it's not WWE fault. I feel like I'm not gonna say y'all because I know y'all fan of WWE, but I feel like it's the fan fault for overhype it. If they like never overhype it, then I'd be like, you know what? Wrestling beer might be great, but I feel like they just overhype it too much. I'm not saying everybody, but most of the fans, you know, overhype this bill and now they disappointed. Not saying y'all, but that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
And that might be why they kind of jacked up the prices on the tickets because the company, TKO, they might have bought into the hype, starting last year with how big they thought the company was getting and the excitement involved, and that's why they were seemingly raised the prices this year over last year, which I know you're going to be talking about here in a second.
Yeah, the problem is there's just, and before we get into the pricing for these tickets, because my God, um, I just there's just too many moving parts that it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
I see, I've seen somebody on Twitter go, oh well, Roman, Punk, and Seth, those three big names. Okay, sure, but realistically, you still like. I feel like people like fail to understand. Like you're trying to compare this triple threat match to another really huge match that main event of WrestleMania without the belt. But the problem is you can't just do that with everything. With like they did it last year because the Rock and stuff and that whole fiasco. I get it. Rock was going to main event anyway, so you might as well just do the tag match. But at least WrestleMania 39 Night 1, they main evented with the title on the line with a story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but WrestleMania 41 having the main event be Roman, Punk, and Seth. Yeah, you can argue there's a really good story there, but you kind of fail to like see like, okay, Roman's a big name. I get it. He's granted, I get Roman's probably the biggest name you got besides for Cody right now. I get it. You want him to main event WrestleMania. I understand. CM Punk, he wants to main event WrestleMania. He's again big name, big merch seller. I get it. Seth Rollins, I understand that. But unfortunately speaking, there's just too many people that could have main evented WrestleMania, and you're going with an option that, unless I see otherwise, if you're just doing a triple threat to do a triple threat, quite frankly, you could have had the Rhea, Io, and Bianca match main event at that point. Like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but it's just, come on. But that's not the only bad thing about WrestleMania this year. It's not just the build; it's the tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the tickets. Does anybody want to start here before I pull it up? Because
I go.
okay.
Why the tickets so goddamn high? I know this is WrestleMania, one of the biggest wrestling show ever. But come on, like I will be honest. I've been into a WWE event. I went to SummerSlam 2021 in Las Vegas. At least that ticket price was not that much. Do I remember? No, but I could tell you it's like fucking $910,000 like this year Wrestlemania going to be. So, I mean, it just getting ridiculous at this point. Like, I know that they do fan pass and stuff like that, but what if the people don't got fan pass? So they gotta pay $900 for both nights, like on 2 days. They're like $1,000 right there for 2 nights. So basically, you spending $1,000 in 2 nights just for a show. That's just crazy in my opinion. That's just diabolical.
And after the show, Triple H is going to come out during the media scrum, and he's going to be like, "I want to announce that WrestleMania 41 was the highest gate total of all time we've had," and that's what he does. He's done every pay per view. He does it every pay per view after the show, and it's because the tickets they jack the tickets up so much. I know you got the figures, Austin, and they're insane. They've actually doubled, some people are saying, for the nosebleeds over the last year.
So I'm going to pull this up here, and just to give everybody kind of an understanding of what I'm talking about here. I'm going to maximize my screen here real quick, but I want people to understand what I'm talking about here. So, for example, like I'm just doing the combo because if you get a 1-day ticket, I think that's kind of weird. But at this point, you might as well. So, because this is not just including like this. Presumably, this doesn't include the. I don't even know how to describe it, but I don't really know like if it includes the WrestleMania like WWE World or if it includes anything else. I expect not. So the cheapest ticket, like here, for standard admission on like section 119, that's $700.
Yeah.
Now it's like right here. Now I don't know where the ring is. I'd presume it's probably here.
Wow.
Or it's somewhere.
Did you see the price on that?
Let's see here. It's $2,000.
Yeah.
On
God damn.
Floor 14. Club 134, $2,300.
Yeah.
Now, the cheapest price I could find right here is $600. But on here, it's saying the cheapest price is $700. Now, if I go down, and I keep going down, that's $750. $850 for this section right here. It's $900 if you want to sit here. Now, pricing wise, I don't know how accurate Ticketmaster is, but look at this stuff. Like $1,150 right here.
Well, a few days ago, according to the post that's going around on Twitter today, there was 5,000 tickets left for night one, and there's 3,000 tickets left for night two. But they said the problem is there's only 68,000 seats in the arena, so this is going to be one of the lowest attended WrestleManias since WrestleMania 22. But because the ticket prices are so high, it could be a record-setting breaking gate because the ticket prices are so high. So it's absurd that I don't know. It's like they're pricing out the regular average Joe wrestling fan, and they're going for people that's more well off and celebrities and like that. And who knows if the celebrities are even paying to get their ringside seats. So it's crazy.
Right here, $3,600.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I could go on and on, but I think my point was made on this one.
And then we got the meet and greet prices, which are absurd.
I'm gonna pull that up on Twitter because that's another thing too. That kind of was just like that completely just made me go, whoa. And I'm going to shout out this Twitter account, Wrestle Movement, because I'm going to use his tweet. So,
right on.
I figure, I'll do him this. I'll do him a solid and put him out there because I mean, granted, he's probably like other people are sharing it, but I'll give him the credit. Shout out Wrestle Movement for posting this. Like just looking at the price, like Bianca Belair to do a meet and greet with her, it's like $300. Like Rey Mysterio and Charlotte Flair, $500. $500 for Braun Breaker and Liv Morgan. $600 for Jay and Jimmy. And that's $500 for Damian Priest and Tiffany Stratton. Now, I don't know if there's going to be legends there. Because this is apparently for like WrestleMania After Dark or something.
So this is going to be like a small like room meet and greet where they're actually walking around with drinks and talking to each other. It's not a where they're sitting down and signing autographs, because if it's that, that's way overpriced.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but that's too much.
Yeah.
Not to do a meet and greet, like.
Yeah, because the meet and greet was figured into that 3-day WrestleMania access that they used to do every year. And I mean, that was all built into the ticket price, and it was for everybody, all the fans, no matter, how if you're like, you're not well off, or, you're rich, you could go to WrestleMania access and you all still have, the same access to the wrestlers and to, all the festivities and stuff. But now they're doing this. TKO is getting nuts.
It did the meet and greet thing.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all get the cheaper one, $299.
Yeah.
That's the cheaper one. That crazy.
Yeah. I'd still. I mean, I'd like to meet her over some of the other people, but man, the prices are absurd.
Like I love Russell Movement's tweet here. The WrestleMania meet and greet ticket prices are outlandish. For $600, me and the Usos better main event both nights at WrestleMania. True. Because, like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep saying it. That's way too much.
And maybe it's just because it's Las Vegas. I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know how much, like shows are priced there. And, like back when, Wayne Newton and the guys that had the Tiger, I don't know how much they charge for stuff. It could be competitively priced to everything else that's going on in Vegas and stuff, and like the NFL and stuff. I don't know, but as a wrestling fan, just looking from the outside in on this, it's crazy. And like I said, the prices kind of jumped from last year to this year, so maybe it'll level off next year when they're in wherever they are next year. We'll have to see.
I think they're in Minnesota next year. I'm not.
Oh, there's no. I doubt they're going to charge way up there for Minnesota.
What gonna be next year?
The rumor and innuendo says it's going to be Minnesota, but I don't know if that's confirmed.
What?
WrestleMania next year.
I thought WrestleMania next year gonna be in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans next year.
Oh, it's in New Orleans next year? All right.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So we'll have to find how much stuff was. Well, that was before the pandemic, wasn't it? Yeah, the last time they were in New Orleans. So it's definitely going to be higher, but we'll have to see if it's anywhere near as much as what they're charging in Vegas, which is absurd.
Very, very absurd. And fun fact about WrestleMania 41, it's going to be the second WrestleMania to be held in Las Vegas after WrestleMania 9.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That's my least favorite WrestleMania. So things aren't looking well right now.
No, it does not. Oy vey. I mean, granted, I saw the segment with Punk and Roman and Seth on, Twitter, and, Paul Heyman telling CM Punk he's going to main event WrestleMania like that. That did admittedly made me go, okay, that was nice, especially for two guys that have been basically like, for Paul to like basically being Punk's corner man for most of his career, and, now he's getting the main event WrestleMania. Like, that was nice. It's just, I don't want it to keep sounding it like, oh, you're being an asshole because it's CM Punk or it's this person. No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm glad CM Punk is getting his WrestleMania main event like he's always wanted. It's just, I wish it was done under better circumstances.
You know what the coolest thing about WrestleMania is going to be is seeing what they put on the globe, that big globe out there, because that's definitely going to be coming to use during the weekend.
Yeah, that is right. That is true.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Hell, they may just work that into the intros for everybody. Like they'll just pan out to the overhead shot and something will be on the globe.
It'll be kind of like the Cube.
Yeah,
the WrestleMania Cube. They had it for 27.
Oh, I didn't. I don't think I saw that one. I got to go back and watch those because there's a lot of stuff that happened that I can't believe happened, and I need to go back and see. I missed those two WrestleManias.
Yeah,
27, I think 26.
No, 27 is really bad. Basically, imagine watching a 30-minute Michael Cole Jerry Lawler match.
Oh.
I think the only match you should watch from this show is Undertaker put the Triple H. That hit.
What match was that?
Undertaker put the Triple H.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out. It was the 2 years after the WrestleMania where they had no crowd. That was the last WrestleMania I saw, and then I took a 2-year break, so I missed the next two WrestleManias. The last one I saw before I quit was McIntyre winning the belt.
Gotcha. Well, I guess since we're on the Twitter stuff, might as well bring up the RVD stuff.
What happened there?
Well, so to kind of give a basic understanding of what happened, I'm going to pull up Rob Van Dam's Twitter stuff here, because it kind of ties back into the AEW stuff, and then it's just fans being fans. And
oh, is this related to him talking about the Mox match and it wasn't his cup of tea?
Yeah, he basically said,
okay.
and I'm verbatim here, is that, he talked about the Cope and Mox stuff. He's like, that's not wrestling to me. Obviously, it's sacrificing a lot for the business. I mean, that could be said about it. Well, this is what he said, just as a quote here. That could be said about it. But the more AEW has been doing stuff like that, the more personally I feel like I would rather be associated with WWE than AEW. Then fans want to get on social media and try to be like, oh, well, TNA in 2010, with the Abyss stuff, Abyss had Janice, the spiked bat, what's the difference there? And even RVD's like, well, first of all, that shit was stupid to begin with. And secondly, I don't think and I think he probably said verbatim that he didn't have creative control in TNA. So it's not like he chose. And then fans are trying to use ECW as an excuse, saying, like, oh, well, you did stuff at ECW, so how could you say that, oh, well, that you don't like it? And RVD basically said, I never did those types of matches. I didn't really do death matches in ECW. Like, sure, did he do an extreme match here and there? Yes. But for the most part, you didn't see him, like, doing shit like what Cope and Mox did on Dynamite. At least last time I checked.
I don't remember him actually ever doing anything like that. I mean, he would work trash cans and tables and stuff, maybe, and chairs at the match, but it wasn't like they were just part of the ECW landscape. It wasn't like that they were. It felt more organic there, unlike AEW, where it feels like they're just doing that to get cheap pop from smarks. So yeah.
And that's the thing too, is like tables, chairs, and like trash cans, they've been staples in wrestling for years. Like, that's normal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the spot that Cope and Mox did on Dynamite, look, I know people will be like, oh, well, you just don't like violence. That's not the point. We're not saying, oh, oh, it's just too violent. No, it was stupid.
Especially on regular television. I could see something like that on pay per view, but it's still spots like that and the staple guns and the I don't know, some of the stuff that they've done. And even WWE's did some stuff over the last 10 years that I haven't particularly cared for. Like Randy Orton did something like with a screwdriver one time in a match, and I don't know. But there, it wasn't a huge deal. It just seems like it's recurring in TNA, especially with coming off the heels of Tony Storm and Mariah May or whatever her face is, and their match. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, back in the day, it felt organic. But now that they blew the doors wide open for kayfabe, it's just it's all for show. But it lost its illusion. It's not. It's just dumb.
And I'll use this as an example, and I think somebody else uses this example too. Like the Drew McIntyre CM Punk Hell in a Cell match, like the violence made sense in that match.
Yeah.
Because with the story that they were telling throughout that whole year and having that be the blow-off match, that made sense. When you're doing they did it on pay-per-view. When you're doing a spot like that on TV in front of not a lot of people, I'm not gonna sit here and just because, like, personally, I didn't talk about it last week because I know what happened last week. Yes, but realistically, but I would have said the same thing. It was dumb, and that would have been it because I'm not gonna sit here and drag this out for longer than need be. The only reason why I'm doing it now is because I'm saying it in the context of what RVD was saying on Twitter, and I agree. Some wrestling fans are trying to make this out to be like, oh, you just don't like AEW. He's not saying that at all. He's just saying, realistically, I think some fans are blowing it out of proportion. Now you're trying to use, things I did in my career and not understanding the full context of it to make it seem worse than what he basically said.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's ridiculous because he even said, yeah, this is what, because I guess somebody else said, you had a lot of concussions, and ECW had like the violent stuff like barbed wire, flaming tables, Taipei death match, that you and others did, and this is what he said on Twitter, and this is what I'm going to say verbatim. He said, first of all, concussions are part of my past, not my present or my future, no matter how much you don't know. He said, I've always said the Abyss spot when he murdered me with Janice was stupid. I've always said it in ECW, the garbage matches that took place instead of wrestling because they didn't have wrestling in them. And then, he talked about how, a writer didn't give Mox the spot that, he did, and he probably used creative control, which is possible. So at the end of the day, it's just, I think fans, again, I'm going to continue to say it throughout this entire show, the show's existence, is that wrestling fans are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I personally, I'm more with Rob Van Dam on this than anything.
Oh yeah, I'll always side with the wrestlers mostly. I mean, well, oxymoron right there, right? But I mean, most of the time I'll side with the wrestlers. It's just, it's just they know what they're talking about. They lived it. They know the behind the scenes aspect of the, booking of the match and actually having to deal with the repercussions of what they do in the ring, and the fans, all they do is just sit there and observe and backseat quarterback, the comings and goings of what goes on and on the product. And I don't know. They think just because they pay or they watch, they consume, and they're the customer of it all, that they're right, but the customer is not always right in the world of professional wrestling.
Exactly. Now, granted, we basically did that when we were talking about the WrestleMania build, but it's not like we're saying, oh, the wrestlers themselves, like, they shouldn't be doing this. They should be. It's like we're saying, no, the writing doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference. We're not.
Yeah, we want the product to be better.
Exactly. But we're not going to go on Twitter and be like, oh, this wrestler needs to be doing this. He needs to be doing that. Like, I'm not booking. I'm not doing a book. Like, last time I checked, I don't think Deshaun or you have the book. So it's like, it's not my it's not my room to say, oh, well, you're wrong. I be granted, it's my opinion if I say you're wrong. I'm not going to say factually you're wrong. You know, I'm not going to go after Cope and Mox for doing a stupid fucking spot. I want to say it was dumb. You probably didn't need to do it. But I'm not going to drag it out and say, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, it was dumb. Move on. And then the context of what RVD said, he didn't say, it was not an anti-AEW rant. It was just him saying the spot was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it was. And fans need to let shit go. Because let's call it for what it is. The spot was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So, Deshaun, do you have anything to say about it, or?
I just gonna say, Walford. I agree with Walford now. That's all I'm gonna say. Because that spot was fucking stupid when they did on AEW. And this is why I don't watch AEW like that. Only watch their pay-per-view. Only time I watch AEW on television is they had their blood and guts match.
What the hell?
What?
Oh, I don't know. I saw The Rock or something, but I think I'm going crazy.
What?
Somebody said it had a GIF, and I'm thinking, wait, The Rock? What the hell? But no, The Rock didn't show up, so.
Oh.
I'm going crazy. But to keep some of the negativity going, Mandy Rose was in the news recently. She didn't comment on Stephanie back here directly, but she had a problem with I guess she had a problem with Stephanie Vakir being known as the she's the only woman to hold two women's titles at the same time, and then Mandy Rose basically was like, well, I did it too, and she alluded to the fact that she was the NXT UK Women's Champion and the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, it's
however,
WWE,
the only thing
go ahead.
I was going to say, the only argument I will make against this is technically she wasn't even the last women's champion, UK Women's Champion officially. Like, if you look at the record books, it'll more than likely say that Mandy Rose, it's not going to be on there. It's just going to say it was unified and it was defunct after whoever was I think it was like Miko. Hold on, like I'm going to make sure that I'm not going crazy.
No, you were right. You right.
It was Miko Satomura.
Yeah.
Like she as far as official, she's officially recognized as the final champion because by the time they quote unquote unified the belts, NXT UK was already done.
Yeah.
So by that point, it really didn't. It's not official. It wasn't official, but I can understand where Mandy Rose is coming from. But I also make the argument that it's not really the same thing because she never. Last time I checked, she didn't come out with two belts. She only came out with the one belt. Meanwhile,
yeah, it's a technical thing. It's
a technicality, and it's two different situations because, Stephanie Vakir is holding the North American title and the main women's title. Again, two different situations where it's not like she's unifying the belts. It's just she's defending them separately.
Yeah,
so
and plus WWE does this all the time where they'll say stuff even if it ain't the case, they'll say stuff and former wrestlers will have stuff to say like, hey, that's not right. Like, how many times have they said stuff to where they gloss over like AJ Lee and they'll say stuff,
Yeah.
and it happens all the time, all the time.
Oh, always.
If they're not working for the company, but here there's that technicality, so so the WWE is kind of right with what they claim, but it's just it happens all the time.
Oh, absolutely. And then I think like in the interviews too, like she was saying how WWE might like would never really doesn't know if WWE would ever accept her back, and she feels like she's being erased from WWE, which
I don't get that though. She
I
doesn't do anything super hardcore. I mean, it's just that they want part of that money that she's making. I don't understand that when they're making all that money off ticket sales and stuff. Who cares how much money she's making? I mean,
right.
she's making a lot, but it ain't a huge amount compared to what they're charging for stuff now. So I mean, and
Yeah,
and all the fans that are spending money on her now, I mean, that's potential customers you got buying merchandise of hers that you're going to get money of if you rehire her. So I don't understand why they're distancing themselves. I mean, it may be because of Mattel doesn't want an OnlyFans person on the roster. I don't know, but it doesn't make much sense because she's still insanely good looking and in shape, and she can make them a lot of money, but she's not there.
and the thing was, she was really improving in NXT.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
let me
like,
tell you. Let me tell you that move where she would do like the high knee or the kick to the turnbuckle when somebody was in a turnbuckle. Awesome, great move.
yeah, it was very cool, and it's like I could understand from the mentality like, hey, like your content's a little inappropriate, like we really can't have that. Like, I don't know if it was so much of a money thing. I think it was just more of an image thing because it's like we really don't want you doing like this very scantily clad. Like, we want like to kind of keep in touch with like that PG stuff. Like, we really don't want you doing that stuff. And if you were warned about it beforehand, it's like I get
I
it. It's kind of like one of those situations where I can understand both sides, but at the same
I
time, I don't know.
I really wish that Mattel would lose the license and they would go to like Hasbro or somewhere where they're more lenient. Because I bet if you sat the entire women's locker room down and asked them, do you want to would you want us to go back and do like Total Divas and do bikini pictorials and stuff? Would you want to do that? Even in the Me Too era, I bet you nearly all of them would raise their hands because they work insanely hard on their bodies and stuff. And even outside of the male gaze, I think that they would want to have something that propped them up as you know as good looking women or whatever, and to make money off of that. And I just think that they could do stuff, but it's a different world, and it's mostly right now because of Mattel, because they're more of a family friendly company. I think you could go down other avenues, and it's the same way with the Attitude Era stuff. You in TV PG. I think that everybody's wanting to go TV 14 and a little bit raunchier side of wrestling, and they're pushing the edges. I mean, we saw that on the last pay per view of Cody and his language. It's just that I think it's because of some of the contracts they have that they're not.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, Deshaun, do you have anything you want to say about it? Because I don't really think we're going to stay too long on the subject because there's really nothing to
Yeah.
talk about here.
I would say this. I get her point exactly, but is that the case? Then should we count Cody Rhodes be the last Universal Champion? Should we count Brock Lesnar being the last world, the old version of the World Heavyweight Champion, the big gold belt?
Yeah.
I mean, I could think another one, to be honest. Oh yeah, should we count Edge be the last person? Well, no. That kind of count. Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I get what she's saying, but if that's the case, then I mean, it don't really count.
Nope.
I mean, it's kind of like Jericho being the last WCW champion, even though if we're really going to go on a technicality, it was really Booker T as the last official WCW champion, but I digress.
Yeah.
I think the case, whether she's right or wrong, and who's right or who's wrong, they need to bring her back.
Yeah.
Work at a deal. And she could face somebody else that wants to come back, maybe.
Yeah, but again, I feel like it's unfortunately, it's like what we talked about a couple weeks ago. Is like, what place would she really have in the division right now?
Who, Mandy, or the person we're talking about? I think Mandy's got a lot of places she could be, but the other person coming back, maybe. I don't know about her, but I think Mandy definitely has some spots she could, even if it's a manager. I think just as an eye candy valet or whatever, I think she has a real talents that she could offer to the WWE.
I agree. Speaking of, Saraya's officially left AEW. I think she was on an interview. She's like done with AEW, and I know she talked about she wants, there's a potential that she'll probably come back to WWE. It's it's kind of sad, really, because Saraya is like Paige or Saraya, her run in AEW, let's call it for what it was. It wasn't very good.
No.
It was trash.
She was not used well. I mean, you can argue, well, she won the women's world title in front of, with their family, and I think it was like in London. Okay, that's great and all, but she only held the belt for a couple weeks to drop the belt.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there was a litany of like injury issues. I don't know if there was a situation where just the booking wasn't great at the time, but for whatever reason, nothing clicked. And I'll be the first to say it. There really wasn't a whole lot that clicked there. I mean, I'm glad that she was given a chance to wrestle again. For all the bad that, a lot of the shit that I give AEW now, I give AEW a lot of credit in a lot of aspects. And giving Saraya a chance to wrestle again when WWE really wasn't giving her that option, I'm glad they gave her an outlet. But, however, like I said, we got to call it for what it is. It just, whatever it was, just was not a good fit for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, she wanted to get back in the ring, and WWE wasn't allowing it, so that was her only option right there. So I'm glad she took it. I'm glad she took it. And I'm glad she got that title win. But yeah, I just hope if she does come back to WWE, and maybe it's WrestleMania, she makes a big splash and does something before she retires, because that's probably coming up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, at the very least, AEW could have used her name to not put over talent all the time, but you could have had her do more than what she did, because she really didn't do much after she lost the belt. I don't know if she wrestled or not.
What happened to Ruby?
I think she got. I think she was pregnant. I think
she got pregnant.
Oh, okay. Is WWE going to ghost her now?
Well, she's in AEW, but
still though, yeah, it was a joke.
AEW could ghost her.
Well,
which that could be possible, but I would hope not.
So I mean, do you think if she does come back, because she's hinting hard that she's saying she'd like to come back, but still, you talk about it as much as you are right now, out of the blue, you would think that she's going to pop up at WrestleMania or maybe one of the shows afterwards that week.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Because we've seen talent say this stuff too, and a lot of times stuff will happen, other times it won't. So
But
it's
it's Paige
go
though.
ahead.
It's Paige, and she's got a super popular theme song that has a very iconic intro to that song. As soon as you hear that Phoenix squeal, I think the fans would pop. I think just for the pop, you got to bring her back.
Yeah, I think the pop would be great, but my main concern is you do that, but speaking of, Rome's is here. What's up, Rome's?
Hey, what's up,
Yo.
guys? Sorry I'm late. I'm like over an hour late.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah. I'm good, man. Just had some stuff going on.
That's cool. That's cool. It's been
Nothing
kind of
urgent.
It's been kind of a downward conversation tonight. A lot of WWE smack talk tonight.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of downer conversation, Romans, which I'll get your thoughts on some of this in a moment. But right, because I don't know if you've heard about Saraya leaving AEW. I wanted to ask what maybe your thoughts are on this whole thing, because maybe it's just me, but I thought her AEW run was very underwhelming. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what you maybe thought on Saraya leaving, if you had any thoughts on that, or.
I just think I agree with you. It was underwhelming because there was a reason why she was not wrestling in WWE anymore. I mean, I think at the end they just either they just didn't know what to do with her, or she was just fed up with how things were going on behind the scenes. I mean, apparently also Britt Baker took down her AEW stuff too on social media. So it looks like a lot of people want to leave AEW.
I mean, with the way it is right now, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I don't know if she'll come back to WWE, but I think it's good for her to leave AEW for now, kind of reset, figure things out, than just jumping into WWE or whatever she does next.
Yeah, because right now, it's kind of the same thing with a lot of these women's talents, is because the women's division is so stacked right now, even in NXT main roster, there's not a whole, and my concern is where would Saraya fit into this almost this roster of wrestling in the WWE side, because it's so overstacked.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what they need? They need. I know women has fought to be on the main shows and stuff to get their equal time. I just think that maybe they need to try a women's show and try to put that on maybe USA and give them a couple hour block if USA wants it. That way they could still have a good spotlight, but you can fit a lot more of the talent onto that because there's a lot of women that's not getting their time and their due, and then she could have plenty of time to come back.
I mean, it could work definitely now because they have the women's mid-card belts and they haven't been given a lot of shine. So
yeah.
I don't see where that would hurt.
And you got a ton of people coming up in NXT and then LFG, and there's definitely room to do something like that.
Because I know that there's talks of them doing another all women's pay-per-view, which if they do that, I'd be down for it.
Yeah,
that'll be a great idea. I think that'll be something perfect because they have just like you said, Austin. The women's division is just stacked right now with talent, and this would be a good way to showcase what they have in NXT and on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
It would be honestly now, because their women's roster is so stacked, you can do it. I know the first one they did, which was good on its own right, but they had to kind of rely a little bit on talent from Trish Stratus and Lita that weren't full time, but now you have a full roster of women's wrestlers. You don't you really don't need to have a. You don't need, like, granted, it would be nice to have, but you don't have to over rely on those types of talents. Like, you can actually have current talent, from NXT, main roster. Hell, you can get talents from Evolve, their ID program, like TNA. Like, there's so much you can do there. Like, if I'm WWE, you don't want to leave a lot of money on the table there. Like, you can easily do a all women's pay-per-view.
Or another Mae Young Classic. I love those first two.
Oh, the Mae Young Classic was great.
That'd be a great thing to do. The Mae Young Classic.
You could easily do, like, there's so many things they could do. It just the question is, would they capitalize on it? And my fear is they're gonna WWE themselves. They're gonna shoot themselves in the foot and just not do it.
Yeah.
So that's just my thought. And Romes, I want to get your thoughts on some of these real quick. Like, kind of like the obvious one. What do you think about the WrestleMania build so far? Because I think the general consensus here is that it's just not been very good.
I agree, and it's kind of. I was going to ask you guys. I don't know if you guys heard. Apparently, this is going to be the lowest attendance for WrestleMania since 22.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they've only sold 17,000 tickets or something.
Oh, really? Oh, because I was looking at the figures a while ago. It was more than that, but supposedly. But the problem is, it only seats 68,000. They said, since WrestleMania 22 is going to be the lowest attending audience there. But Triple H somehow he's going to come out after the pay-per-view at the scrum, media scrum, and he's going to be like, tonight, I just wanted to open up and say tonight was the highest gate we've had for WrestleMania, because he does that every show, and we figured it's because, have you seen the absurd prices on some of these tickets? I mean, even in the nosebleed section, it's crazy. And then we actually went over afterwards. We looked into they're doing meet and greets, and the prices are like $500 for just a meet and greet. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like $400 to meet $300 to meet Bianca, and they're doing like a 2-for-1 deal where it's like you can meet Damian Priest and Tiffy for like $500, and then it's the same thing with like a male and a female star for like $500 or $600.
Yeah, we went over all this, and we were wondering if it's because they're in Vegas and it's a different atmosphere there, and because they're not going to be able to pull something like that off and going back to New Orleans next year, because I think it's just a different. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know if they're trying to market stuff to like the rich, the well-to-do now. And who knows if the celebrities are even paying for those high-dollar tickets at ringside, or if they're getting them for free.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
But not only that, but the build and just the overall, just the things they're doing for WrestleMania just feels like a clusterfuck, and just a way too. I don't know what the word is, but it just feels like I said before, it just feels like they've overcomplicated it, and now they're like, well, now we got to kind of salvage this somehow. So, all right, we're going to throw this match on there, and it's just like, good Lord.
You do know about the triple threat. I mean, it's the main event now, right?
Yeah, I was reading that. Good for CM Punk, but it doesn't feel like a main event. But hey, whatever. If that's their cheapest way to give it to him, I guess. I mean, I would think main event would be like you're the last on the card, the very last on the card for the show for the title. But okay.
I mean, that's what we were talking about too. Is like, I understand. Okay, you want to give CM Punk his first main event. I get it. You want to have Roman Reigns break the all-time WrestleMania main event record, which he's going to main event 10 times, and this will break, I think, Hogan's record of 9, because Roman tied it last year. But at the same time, I understand people going, Roman's a big star and CM Punk. It's like, look, I understand that point, but you had 3 other matches that maybe could have main evented night 1. Like we talked about, Jay and Gunther. I understand that doesn't necessarily scream a main event match right now, but from a financial standpoint, you'd be dumb not having the show end with Jay winning the world title from Gunther. Like, that's
Yeah.
dumb.
I mean, I
You
thought the
know,
Royal Rumble winner main event's WrestleMania, but I guess that changes.
I guess so. It just it changes depending on the day. You know, I understand Tiffany and Charlotte's not having the greatest build right now, but you could at the very least, you know, Charlotte won the Rumble. You could have at least main evented with that, and I'm pretty sure the match will be good. It's like, and then you have the Rhea, Io, and Bianca stuff, that'll more than likely be a triple threat. You know, with the way the build's going, you would think, okay, well, Io's being overshadowed by Bianca and Rhea, so this is going to lead to, you know, Io winning the belt. You know, if that was the main event of WrestleMania, you know, granted, I can understand the argument of, oh, well, the title's going to not change hands, but Io beating, you know, either pinning, you know, one of either Io or Bianca, 2 of your biggest women's stars, and having her win
Yeah.
in the main event of WrestleMania, that's going to make Io, that's going to basically, that'll be your star defining moment. That would have been a huge deal for her. So, unless they're going to do something and add something to this Punk, Roman, and Seth triple threat, because apparently Punk main eventing WrestleMania is not the favor. So, unless they're going to do something to like kind of make the night 2 main event feel like something, or like they're gonna do something in the night 2 main event, I don't know why this match is main eventing other than, oh, it's Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and the Royal Rumble winner, it should be in the main event, but that hasn't always happened in the past. Alberto Del Rio, I think he was in the opening match with Edge one year. You had a couple others that weren't in the main event. I think Nakamura, him and AJ Styles did a main event, and there was one other I just had on top of my head and I done forgot. But yeah, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, yeah, did the main event.
Edge didn't main event when he won the Rumble. I don't think, because I'm trying to think who else didn't main event. No, I think for the most part, like whoever wins there are some that don't. Like I know, definitely main evented, Roman main evented.
I mean, I could name a few.
Go ahead.
Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
John Cena, Dodo Dorito, thank God, Sheamus, and who else? Oh yeah, Shinsuke, Randy Orton. Yeah, I think that mostly hit that I think of. And also we count women then Will Whippy and Betty.
Hey, I got a question. I'm looking at the meet and greet for World at WrestleMania 2025. Is that what you guys are talking about? Like the prices?
Yeah. I think so.
So if you go to like the website for WWE and you go to like, Fanatic or whatever, the prices are not that high for any of these people. Like, I mean, you go to Bianca Belair for like Thursday, it's sold out, and hers is like a photo op for 91, and then at a table 85.
Oh, you want to know what it is? Because they're doing that WrestleMania After Dark thing.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Okay, that has to be something different then, because from WrestleMania from April 17th to the 21st, like the prices aren't that bad. I mean, sorry,
but still, $500, $600 is way too much.
Well, I mean, we're saying that here, and we don't really know what it is. It like I said, it may be them walking around with drinks and it like a high end type deal where they're just actually chit chatting, and it's not like a sit down where come sign my stuff and I'll sign your stuff and you'll be ushered away. It's maybe some sort of deal where they actually get to sit down and have conversations, or I don't know, but still, I mean that ticket price does seem like it's high, but like we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean,
and even then, like the Cena and Cody stuff. No, you go ahead, Rums.
So yeah, for a photo op with Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's like $335 at a table, $324. At a table with like everything included is like $432. So I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I mean he's the highest one. I mean, other than him, I think the second highest would be where is he? I mean, I think Undertaker would be the second highest, and his stuff is all under $300.
Yeah, I mean, for those guys, I can understand it because Austin doesn't work a lot of shows, so
He rarely shows up anywhere. So for that, that's like okay, like it's not.
yeah,
None of these people who are offering these kind of prices are anywhere near his level.
yeah.
So that's interesting.
And to kind of also talk about the Mania build again, and I've said this earlier on, but I want to get your thoughts on this, Romes. So apparently Cena's not going to be working the next 2 weeks. So after next week, Cena's not scheduled to be on Raw or SmackDown for the next 2 weeks before WrestleMania. So
oof, that's a bad hit.
Yeah.
It is a bad hit, and it makes you wonder, what is Cody going to be doing the rest of the build going into WrestleMania? Because he can't just be doing promos by himself.
I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. He's just going to be promoting his own match without John Cena being there.
And that, to me, is a mistake.
Rock has to show up for somebody.
Which makes me wonder if this triple threat's going to have something more to it, because Cody can't be like. Let's call this feud for what it is. It feels like a one-sided protected feud because they don't want Cody getting outshone by Cena. So they're not having Cena, do a promo with Cody. I would suspect they might do one this week because I think Cena's going to be on Raw or whatever. But the last 2 weeks, Cena hasn't said anything directly to Cody. It's been more like Cena doing "you people suck" promo. It's like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I don't think they know what they're doing either. I mean, I was seeing some clips of like Randy Orton coming out talking to Cody Rhodes. I feel like that's what they're going to be doing for 2 weeks, is just have random wrestlers show up who wants to wrestle him after WrestleMania to build something up if he does win it.
But it's starting to feel like a false herring, because my theory is they're going to have this triple threat, and the main event of night 1, and Punk's going to use his favor to somebody's going to get into night 2, and then whoever gets into night 2 is going to be pinned by Cena to protect Cody. So that way Cody can be like, oh, I didn't lose. But then somebody or The Rock's going to say, well, you're not getting a rematch for this belt anytime soon. So then Cody's going to be chasing the belt, or he's going to be on his path to chasing the belt, while Cena's going to do his own thing in his nostalgia tour. But I don't. It just, again, it feels more of a product of we overcomplicated it. So now we have to circle back and go, okay, here's how we're going to rectify it and make it make sense.
Right. I don't know. I just feel like, Cody already gave a pin to The Rock, and I think he's not going to lose again to John Cena. I think this time, because I feel like something's going to happen where like someone's going to interfere in this match to save somebody.
I have a theory that Punk's going to win the night 1 main event. He's going to somehow find a way to get into night 2, and Seth's going to be revealed as the third guy, and he's going to cost Punk and Cody the belt.
I can see that working.
There just has to be something there, because I just don't. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around like what the plan is here, because this whole WrestleMania build feels like an almost clusterfuck, because there's just so many people there. They have such a stacked roster that they have to do a lot of multi-man matches. And then on top of that, the main event feels like there's so many different directions that it's just, this entire show is just a clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not trying to say this to downplay, CM Punk's main eventing WrestleMania for the first time, because that's great. As somebody who is a CM Punk fan, I'm glad he's getting, something that, he was owed like 12 years almost. But at the same time, I wish it was better. It was in better circumstances. Because at this stage, it just feels like a give me main event, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about the expensive stuff. I don't know, Rome's, if you heard about like the RVD stuff on social media, but
I heard some of it. Actually, I've been listening to like some stuff RVD say about AEW and their shock value and what they're doing over there. I mean, he's not wrong to a degree.
no, and the fans, the thing that we were talking about is the primarily just I think the fans, I just think sometimes they try to make it this tribalistic battle of like, oh, he said something bad about AEW, so obviously he's pro WWE. He never said any. He said he'd prefer to be considered WWE if AEW continues to do shit that they're doing, because it's like you're doing it for shock value. You're not doing it for like I don't know what
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what how to word it, but
No, I know what you mean. It's like because when he got there, they were like this hot new thing that like they were doing something right, and then somewhere along the way, it went from being like this hot new thing with some guys who were doing pretty well to like let's do a shock value, let's do something stupid or crazy, to get some buzz or to get someone to talk about with their matches, and then it just became this giant mess.
and it is a mess. And you know, and I talked about this. It's like because fans are like, oh, but you were at ECW and ECW did all this stuff, and RVD's like, well, okay, yeah, but at the same time, I didn't do that. You know, and they brought up, oh, but in 2010, you know, when you were facing Abyss in TNA, like there was the Janus bat, you know, with the spikes, and he's like, yeah, and it was stupid.
Well, he's right. I mean, AEW, like there are certain gimmicks that work for like some hardcore or some crazy matches with Sandman, Terry Funk, and guys who are known for that stuff. Other wrestlers like Eddie Guerrero who showed up, or Chris Benoit, or they just did the stuff that like they just did things that are more acrobatic or spot matches. Like you had different things at ECW. It wasn't just one thing. Where AEW is kind of known for one thing.
Exactly. And the only thing I said about was, you know, and he pretty much said the same thing I said, is the spot was fucking stupid. You didn't need to do it. Like, it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, the wrestlers need to be doing this. No, it's just at the end of the day, it was stupid. Move on.
Yeah.
Like, you did it on free TV. Why? I don't know. You know, you did it in front of 2,000 people. At least that's, I think, the number. I don't know what it was in the arena, but it wasn't big. I would just say it was just dumb. Move on. That's all it is.
I mean, AEW, like we've said before, they just got to find a better storytelling. They need to really focus on their their core stars, and really try to build around them, and just find the right story that's going to work.
And I'm telling you, Rome's, I really hope, because I know the original plan was for Darby to beat Mox, but at this point, you need to call an audible and say, no, the story's not working. We need to get the belt back on Swerve to course correct a little here. And then we can, because that's what they need right now, is they need someone to course correct this stuff, because this is just not working.
No, I mean either a Swerve or MJF, just somebody who's like AEW brand and really that knows how to build that title back up.
Like, this is what they should do. They should have Swerve win the belt back, have Hangman win the Owen Hart Cup, and then do Hangman and Swerve at All In like they should have done last year.
Yeah, that would have worked.
It's just at this point it's just this company. It's like they keep getting in their own way. I don't know why. And you see wrestlers on Twitter, Twitter and social media going, oh well, you don't understand it, this, that, the other. I'm like, right. I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to say, oh, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. I'm not saying you need to be like WWE. I appreciate them wanting to be the alternative, but they have to do something to get people talking about them, but in the right way.
Yeah, I mean they overpaid to get Okada and Ospreay, and it's like they haven't really done anything with them since they were brought over.
No, I mean
Besides
Okada
just
was
giving them match after match with some really top talent, but once that was like maxed out, they just didn't know what to do with neither one of them anymore. It's like they're just there.
Okada was put into like this elite, into the elite to do this company takeover thing. That didn't work. So it was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just have Okada do stuff as Continental Champ until he faces Omega in Texas, which is, I would presume, that's the plan. And then you have Ospreay. Granted, he's great matches, but what's the direction here? Like, he did the thing with Kyle Fletcher. That was good, and then it's like AEW just needs to be course corrected. And I think a lot of hardcore AEW fans just don't want to hear it because they think, oh, well, it's, AEW and it's great. It's like, no, they're struggling. It's okay to say that. Because let's call it for what it is. They just aren't in a good place right now. Oh, also, Robes, on social media, this is really funny. Drew referenced the CM Punk Real Glass Cry Me a River. Because Damian Priest, I guess, slammed Drew onto like the car. He literally just said that was real glass. It got in my eye.
That's so funny.
No matter what.
That's another guy. Like I'm sorry, but that's another guy that should have been pushed. Should have been really pushed and really been involved in the WrestleMania main event. I mean, he was their big breakout star last year in terms of being a heel and everything, and it's like they just kind of just done nothing with him. He's just having a match with Damian Priest. It's like, what are you doing with Drew McIntyre?
Like, and the sad part is, I like Damian Priest, but it's like, if that's all you got for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, I don't know what we're doing here.
Right.
Because with the way like things were going, I was like, oh, they're gonna do Roman and Drew at WrestleMania. That kind of makes sense, Drew's gonna be the bloodline hunter, and he's gonna like be a bounty hunter. He's gonna kill like the bloodline and stuff. Like that would have been cool. But it's like, oh, okay, like sure, I guess. It's just a mess. But what's not a mess, and this is something that's actually kind of cool here, is for the Hall of Fame, they're actually adding wrestling matches into the Hall of Fame now. They announced that Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13 is going in the Hall of Fame as part of their new wing, their Hall of Fame wing, I think. Which I'm going to say it for, when it comes to matches that should go into the Hall of Fame, that one should. Because that match changed the tides of wrestling. Or it started that new biggest era of wrestling. Was Bret and Austin at WrestleMania 13 in the submission match. Because not only was that match great, but the finish of the match was not only iconic, but it changed, like, kind of, it changed, I wouldn't say it changed the tides, because by that point, WCW was still beating the WWF in the ratings, but that was the first sign of, okay, change is happening, because the WWF was in such struggling, fledgling ways. It's because, in all the documentaries and everything you'll hear is, like, the WWF was still struggling in 1997, because WCW with the NWO and the Sting stuff, like that was killing them in the ratings. But once Austin started to get traction, and once they started doing the stuff with Mike Tyson when ratings were going up, you can really only attribute it to this match. What the heck? Oh, my phone went off. I don't know what the hell that was. But out of all the matches that could go into the Hall of Fame, I think that's the perfect one to start with.
I agree.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to add more matches into that wing. I don't know if they're going to add multiple in like 1 year, but
they gotta. They have to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to shift it. They have to at least add one more or something. Because they're running out of Hall of Famers to put in. Because now you're just putting in people who are just like popular, but didn't really accomplish anything.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Michelle McCool. Other than that, I think the class this year is pretty good. But I think at least 5 to 7 matches should go in each year, because there's a lot of matches, and you can't just do one a year. I think that WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. Steamboat versus Savage. Those are three right off the bat.
Those are three right there. I mean, I don't know about Hogan and Andre yet because of Hogan and how he's seen, but I can see like Macho Man and Steamboat, Austin, and Bret Hart.
I don't know if you could put Brett and Owen in, but that should go in. But I don't think I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Martha would allow that, but
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna have multiple entries with like Bret Hart or like just in general. I don't know if they want to do multiple entries with the same guy every year.
Yeah. I maybe see something like maybe Undertaker shot like for this year. I could see like Austin and Brett, Savage and Steamboat, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. I'm trying to think who else we can put in there.
The Rock, the final boss would want to put himself over and say him versus Hogan at 18.
Yeah.
You could do
or Rock and Cena, first one.
Razor and HBK.
Oh, that could be a good one. Let's see here. What else could you add? You could probably add Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair at 24. But
that'd be that's a great one too. Oh, good one.
Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, not a match.
Yep.
The Triangle TLC match at 17, you probably could add that.
Yeah, that's a must. That should be in there as well. That should be in the top 5 for this year.
Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
Oh, how can I forget Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler? Or better yet, Giant Gonzalez versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 9.
I'd also add Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair at Starrcade.
Yeah.
That's an old school one, but a classic one too, back in the day.
I don't know. Would they want to add stuff from WCW NWA into the Hall of Fame?
They should, since they own it. I mean, there's no reason why they can't. I would, because it's a Hall of Fame, and you're throwing a lot of people in Hall of Fame from different eras. I mean, that's a match I would put in for sure.
As much as I hate these two fucking idiots, but I honestly, if they put Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6 in there,
no.
I mean,
it's not a good match. It's not a good match.
It's not, but
I was watching a Hogan tape with my grandpa when I was little, and in retrospect, going back to that match in particular, I am super embarrassed that I showed that match to him, because there's that test of power segment during the match, which is it's a blowjob fest. I mean, they're on their knees and they're doing the test of strength, and he's like shaking his head, and the camera's like, it's bad. It's bad.
That's too funny.
It's not a good match. And boy, we were watching some weird stuff when we was kids.
I also had this is a much older one, which is another good match I remember seeing or like watching highlights of that keeps being talked about here and there. It's Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, this is going back probably back in the 70s, but like I know that was a match that some wrestlers today, when they talk about what they got into, not just Hogan but Jesse the Body Ventura, and they'll reference a match like that between the two of them, because those were like the big stars for WWE back in those days during seniors days.
I'm trying to think what else you could add to like matches wise. I mean, because like,
What about bra and panty match? We haven't had those in forever. We can put one of them in there too.
Oh, we got to put Vince McMahon versus Shane McMahon at 17.
Oh yeah, that was a great one.
Brett and 1-2-3 Kid on Raw. That's for the WWE title. That was one of the best matches Raw had up until that point.
I would put Diesel versus Mabel at SummerSlam 1995 in there.
Wait a minute.
I mean, another 17 match. I mean, 17 was such a everybody was trying to steal the show. Was that hardcore match with was it Kane versus Raven, and I think Big Show was in there too. It was like the three of them.
I believe so. Yes.
That was a surprisingly good hardcore match with the three of them.
They should put the gimmick battle royal from 17 in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, you might well put Goldberg and the Undertaker in that conversation too.
Yeah, I mean it's another Bret Hart match, but the Iron Man match with Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, it was good.
Trying to think here. Oh, we got it.
It's hard to go back to watch though because there's a lot of rest holds in that match.
Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19. Perfect match for the Hall of Fame.
Hey, that match was kind of cool, to be honest.
I hope one day we get a show about the two of them, like what was going on behind the scenes with WWF and like their whole relationship and what they do to like how they like made WWF like this big giant, what it is today and how many people they screwed over. Because there's just so many crazy stories about the two of them and how many lives they've ruined.
Yeah, and then all that stuff is coming out, or supposedly is coming out this week with Linda. She's gotten on social media. She's not looking good at all.
No, I mean Linda. She's not innocent either.
No.
Especially with how things handled with her and Hulk Hogan when they were divorced and how she took it. It's the whole thing between the two of them. Cheating on him with I think Nick's best friend, a good friend, and then I don't know how she got all his money, but she did somehow, and she left him with nothing.
Well. She claims that her lawyers were in cahoots with his lawyers, and she lost all that money to legal fees. So, yeah.
I find that hard to believe that there's got to be more to it. She walked away with like a lot of money. I know she was pissed when she got that Gonker deal, the settlement.
Oh yeah. She didn't get none of that. And but yeah, it kind of sucks though. I mean, because he was cheating on her at the time with that girl, and
with one of Brooks' friends too. That's funny.
And then he ends up getting all that money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The True Hollywood Story, Hulk Hogan.
Oh man, dude, the Dark Side of the Ring episodes on them are gonna go crazy.
I want more of those two, Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon. Like those are the ones people will watch.
Hey, that starts next week. Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, you need to look that up and run down what the episodes are about, so we can talk about them. Because I don't know what's.
I forgot because I was looking at that too a while ago. I think the new season's already out on Hulu.
Oh, it is?
Let me see if we can find it. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to binge it tomorrow.
Let's see here. Season 6, full episode list.
Did we lose Austin?
I think we did.
Yeah, he has a problem with his router, he said last week. You need to hardwire that shit, son.
So yeah, the first one's Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell. Yeah, it was just released today, March 25th.
Oh, okay.
First one's Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley. Yeah, sorry, Shifty.
No, that's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the first one. Ludwig Borga, Hellraiser from Helensky. That was episode 2. Episode 3 is Big Van Vader.
Oh,
episode
yeah.
4 is Tony Atlas, Too Much Too Soon.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, the
Tony Atlas.
Yep, go ahead.
Tony Atlas is from my hometown. I went to school with his nephew, who wasn't a big fan of his uncle at the time. But my dad, back in the '70s, before he really broke big into wrestling, he said he would be on his lunch hour one time, and he was walking up the street, and he saw Tony. He was lifting up with one hand the back end of a Beetle, while another dude was trying to change the tire on it. He said it was very impressive. So what else they got?
Superstar Billy Graham. Daphne's gonna be one. That's gonna be an
Oh
interesting. Very
yeah,
curious. Daphne's an
yeah,
interesting story.
yeah.
The
Sad
original
story.
Sheik. The original Sheik. Ed
Uh-huh.
Fahad. Billy Jack Hayes. Eddie Gilbert. And the last one is Muhammad Hassan.
Oh
That's gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
he got screwed over by WWE. I mean, he could have been a great big villain there, and they pushed him in the wrong direction with a storyline that they could not recover from, and they just said, nope, sorry, we're not going to even repackage it. You're too hot.
No. Which sucks because like he was on his way to really getting some really big matches, and I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys saw the Van what's his name, Chris Van Fleet.
Uh-huh.
He did an interview with him last year, and he's a teacher now or a principal.
Oh really?
He
Huh.
quit wrestling after that. I guess he just was like done with it after they didn't do anything with him.
Well, for a while there, I thought he was a stunt man. He was working stunt work for television and movies. But yeah,
Probably.
that's a huge. That's I think Matt Stryker actually started off as a teacher, then he became a wrestler, so he took the reverse career path. You back, Austin?
I am back.
There he is.
Like I said, you need to hardwire that shit, son.
Yeah, it's the problem is where I'm at right now. It's the extender. We have like surges, and
Uh,
it'll cut in and out. It's actually surprisingly during the day it's not awful, but when there's like a lot of people in the house, and
huh.
especially this time of night, it starts to become a little iffy.
Yeah. But we was running down the episode list, and it sounds like there's going to be some pretty interesting ones. Daphne's getting an episode, which is going to be pretty rough. It's going to be a rough
Yeah.
story to go through again. But yeah, Big Van Vader's getting an episode, which should be really cool because he had a lot of stuff that went down in Japan. His eye got popped out in a match.
Oh yeah, dude, Vader fucking rules.
He does.
I think of all the ones I'm looking forward to is the Daphne one. The Muhammad, the Hassan one, I'm kind of like familiar with. I'm just more interested with Daphne. That's the one I'm like, because she was such a popular person, such a popular character in TNA.
Yeah. Oh, in WCW, I mean, she was stuck with David Flair, but I mean, she really she stole the spotlight when her segments came up. She was great.
She was very cool. See what we got. Eddie Gilbert.
I am
Yeah,
watching like
that's
the Linda Hogan rant. Holy shit, does she look horrible?
yeah. She says those marks are from Botox. They're Botox bruises, but
Yeah,
everybody's pointing.
okay.
No, that's meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
No.
Meanwhile, Hulk Hogan's married to a 45-year-old and living his best life.
Well, outside the racism.
Yeah.
Just outside of Hulk Hogan being Hulk Hogan. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's gonna do it for tonight, unless anybody else has anything.
I don't. I don't think I do.
Uh, you guys already talk about John Cena's like him and Cody Rhodes on Monday. Their
Oh,
thing.
I mean,
Any thoughts on that?
I know we touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I just personally thought it almost felt like more like it felt like more of the same as last week.
Yeah.
I fell
So
asleep.
I mean, I'm more excited for the triple threat match between Seth, Roman, and CM Punk. At least that has something.
yeah, I really hope this upcoming Raw or whatever there's going to be a little bit more because there's only so much of this Cena "you people" promo, and then Cody comes out and Cena just stands there like,
Right.
because I personally believe they're doing that on purpose to protect Cody because they don't want him getting because if Cena once Cena starts running him down, it's over. Like promo wise, because Cena's gonna outclass him.
Right.
You
Yeah, there was
know,
a story about that too. That they were worried about Cena really like burying him with his promos.
they compare this to Hogan's turn. Just imagine if the NWO had fizzled out as quickly as Cena and his heel turn here. I mean that would have been a disaster. Well, I mean, I don't know if it had been a disaster. We wouldn't have known what would have happened. With what went on. How that took off. But man, I just everything we were all so hyped just like a month ago for after the elimination chamber, and now we're just like, whatever.
Yeah, especially with the reports that Rock's not gonna be at WrestleMania 41, and John Cena tells everybody we get nothing.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I guess the other thing I bring up, one thing I keep seeing is just the lack of like good heels, the lack of good promos. I mean, watching the promos between like Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I mean, Rhea's the only one who can really talk on the mic. Where I get Io, it's a language barrier at times, and then you have Bianca, who's a good wrestler. She's just horrible when it comes to her promos. Like I'm just seeing a lot more like not great promos from anybody within the business. It's just maybe a few handful who can really talk on the mic. That are really selling their matches while everybody else who has a match isn't really doing a great job selling their match.
I'm wondering if Kyrie is going to get involved in this somehow because I don't know if you saw any of the pictures that she's been posting. She's been working out. She's extremely kind of buff now. I mean, she's great shape. I know she's coming off an injury, but man, I think we're going to see her here pretty soon. And I don't know if she's going to team back up with EO or Dakota, or maybe turn on them and actually get a run this time. But man,
Yeah,
she's looking good.
yeah, I can see it coming back somewhere. Maybe she'll make her appearance in that match against Rhea Rip. That rematch that they're doing this Monday night. Which I'm just like, what are we doing? Like we're having another rematch. You had Rhea in it, out of it. What the hell's going on with that? That's been a disaster too for the women's division.
Well, Rhea should automatically be in the match because the what's her face? She cost her the title and she should have got disqualified. I mean,
Yeah,
Bianca, she shouldn't have been out there for that title match, and I don't know.
that's a
Everything's
mess.
all
Also,
messed up. It's messed up.
yeah, it just feels like whatever plans that they had, The Rock came in and just said, "I'm taking some souls and I'm rooting WrestleMania 41."
It's true. Man.
Yeah, I'm taking the soul of WrestleMania 41.
And the bad thing about it is it's a 2 night show. It's a lackluster build to a 2 night show, and I don't know if I had the patience to sit there through all of it. I mean, I may just I kind of actually just want to wait till like the day after and just fast forward through it.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Also,
Something may happen in the next 2 weeks, and we'll get excited again.
I hope so. Ray Phoenix is debuting on SmackDown next week.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. That's cool.
And
Hey,
there's and they're
who won that United States title match tonight? I know there was a triple threat match tonight, wasn't there?
I think it was probably LA Knight.
I'm not surprised.
And they're heavily teasing Aleister Black.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
Yep.
At least there'll be something to talk about.
he better have his old intro. That's all I'm saying.
His old intro and his old music.
Yeah.
Not that devil shit.
Yeah, I just think right now WWE really needs to step up their game with trying to develop better heels because there's just not that many good heels. And the ones that they have for good heels are just not utilizing right.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just see a lot of people are afraid to be a heel and they just want to stay as a good guy or whatever because they want to be popular, they want to be cheered, they want to make money. Like I get it, but like part of the business you have to pay the business back by like being a heel and building the business back up. But
Yeah.
that's the frustrating
Well,
part.
again, supposedly MJF he got rid of his AEW tattoo, so
Yeah.
he may be headed over before too long. I would like to see Kenny come over before he retires. I heard the
Yeah.
Bucks are disgruntled, so
I mean, they're the ones who caused some of the giant messes in the behind the scenes.
yeah.
But yeah, Kenny Omega, I would love to see at least do something with WWE. Like maybe I guess before it's over. Like doesn't mean he has to do a title run, but at least get there, have some great matches, and because he spoke some positive stuff about WWE last year, so I can see that he's intrigued by like jumping over there and see what they're doing.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, we're about to reach the 2 hour mark. Longest episode of the show so far. But we had a very, very good conversation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So great stuff all around. We are gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let everybody go around here, tell everybody where they can find themselves at. We'll start with Rome. Where can they find you at?
They can find me at Good Ol Wrasslin with Austin, with Shifty, and Deshaun. Every Friday night. You can also find me in the Cool Kids review when we do movie reviews and things like that. You can also find me on Storms Nation every Sunday with Robs, with Austin, and some of the guys from the Cool Kids review, and even my channel when I post a video every now and then.
Very cool. Very cool. I like it. Deshaun, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Wig Entertainment, and Facebook, Deshaun Wiggin.
Very nice. Shifty, where can they find you at?
Well, you can find me here, and you can find me on. I just started last night, and I may be on there occasionally. The Collectibles Past Toy Show, hosted by Vinny Art and Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. We had a fun time last night talking about everything toys from the past and the present, and talked about some big sales they got going on at Target, which I mentioned at the top of the show. Had a great time on there last night, and yeah, it's every Thursday at about 8:30 on their channels of Vinny Art and Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. And of course, you can find me here on Friday nights talking good old wrestling with y'all. And you can find me on X. It's Shifty Gism. That's Shifty GISM.
Very good. You can find me here on Fridays for Good Ol Wrasslin. Earlier today, despite my technical problems, I overcame it like the underdog that I am, and me and Angry Cameras reviewed Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Oh,
Sweet.
And then our next episode will be reviewing Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So, check it out when we get to that eventually. And like I said, you can find me here on Fridays for Good Ol Wrasslin. You can find me on Storms Nation, the Cool Kids. You can find me a little bit of everywhere. And unlike last time, where I do the the usual outro, I'm going to end it off by playing the song, our intro song, out. So I think that'll. I don't know yet. No, yeah, fuck it, why not? Anyway. Oh no, I'm zooming out. All right, we're out. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Ostator signing out.
Bye,
Later.
y'all.
Later,
Peace.
everybody.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we've promoted that, it is time for the rest of the wrap-up. I have been Shifty Jism and still am and forever shall be. And if I'm not, well, guess what? I ain't gonna know the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, please. If you like the content, comment down below. You know what it do, it helps with the algorithm. I don't know what it is, but sometimes you know it needs a little kickstart, just a little clickety hissity hiss. Hey, if I can remember to like and maybe even enjoy stuff, then so can you. And if you're having a bit of time about it, say she sells seashells by the seashore. Please like and enjoy. God bless Al Gore and his rhythm, wherever he may be. I don't care about that part so much, so sue me. We upload sporadically, but we try to get stuff out as much as possible. And when you enter, we guarantee you will never